Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to test whether AI can actually help create a cinematic trailer from nothing more than a simple idea. Not just a few random AI clips. I mean an actual trailer with characters, environments, a story, and a consistent visual style. To make things more interesting, I'm going to create two completely different projects. The first one is a cyberpunk thriller about a memory smuggled in a futuristic city. The second one is an animated fantasy world filled with floating islands and giant sky ships. And now I'm going to build both of them inside TapNow. Let's see what happens. The goal isn't just to create a full movie. I simply want to see how quickly I can go from basic concept to something that actually looks like a cinematic trailer. So let's start with cyberpunk project. For this one, my entire idea is a memory smuggler discover a corrupted memory drive in a neon cyberpunk city. And for that fantasy project, a young pilot navigates dangerous floating islands aboard a giant sky ship. Let's see what TapNow does with these ideas. The first thing I did was open agent mode and enter the cyberpunk concept. Within seconds, TapNow started building out the project. It generates story beats, character concepts, visual themes, and even suggests a trailer structure. What I like is that it gives you a strong starting point instead of forcing you to build everything from scratch. Next, I entered the fantasy concept, and the same thing happened. Except this time, the system generated floating islands, sky ships, adventure sequences, and fantasy-style characters. Both projects feel completely different despite using the same workflow. This is where the ideas start becoming visual. For the cyberpunk project, TapNow generated storyboard scenes showing the city, the main character, and several key moments from the story. You can already see how the trailer is starting to take shape. Then I switched to the fantasy project. And honestly, some of these environments looked incredible. Massive floating islands, large sky ships, cloud-filled landscapes. At this point, I already had a visual roadmap for both trailers. One thing I always struggle with when using AI tools is consistency. A character looks great in one image and completely different in the next. So I wanted to test TapNow consistency features. For the cyberpunk project, I locked in the character design and generated multiple angles. As you can see, the appearances stays remarkably consistent. I repeated the same process for the fantasy project. The same character design, outfit, and overall look are maintained across multiple shots. And for the trailer creation, that's a huge deal. Now it was time to generate actual video. Using Series 2.0, I started turning these storyboard scenes into cinematic shots. Here's one example from the cyberpunk project. Notice the camera movement, lighting, and facial expressions. It feels much more cinematic than what we're used to seeing from AI generated footage. Then I generated scenes from the fantasy project. The environment feels massive, the movement looks smooth, and the overall quality is surprisingly impressive. This is where both projects really started coming together. After generating enough footage, I moved into the editing section. I organized the clips and assembled both trailers directly inside TapNow. Instead of constantly switching between different tools, everything stayed in one workflow. So guys, here are the final results. Both of these started as nothing more than a few sentences and ended up becoming completely trail concept. If you want to create your own universe, this is actually a great time to try TapNow. Let me know in the comments which project you like more, the cyberpunk thriller or the fantasy sky ship adventure. And if you decide to create your own universe, I'd love to hear what you were building. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.